In this video, I want to talk to you about something called Aida.
This video is brought to you by EpiPie's Academy.
And it's an acronym for a 4-step process for sales. And it's very widely applicable. Whenever you're promoting anything, especially if you're a beginner, try to think of this Aida. So let's go over this letter by letter. The first letter is attention. You want to grab attention. You usually do this with attractive headlines, attractive titles, email subject lines, sales pitches, promises of big benefits. Because if you promise some tremendous benefit that a person actually wants, that's going to go a long way to them clicking on your link, to them opening your email. Whereas if it's very mediocre, like they're not that interested, it's boring, they're just going to ignore it. So you want to grab attention, and everything starts with that, because if you don't grab attention, the rest of your sales process doesn't even happen. After Aida is I. I stands for interest. You want to build interest in that person to whom you're trying to sell. What are they thinking? They're thinking something like, what's in it for me? Am I going to get something out of this really? And is this trustworthy? Can I trust them? And you want to build trust by explaining how your service or product works, its details a little bit, and your own credibility as the seller or creator of it. Are you qualified to have created it, to promote something? And in the beginning of the sale, you just want to promise benefits. That's the attention. And you don't want to get into too many details too soon, but after you get the attention, you build up the interest by getting into the details just a little more. Not too many details, because too many details can actually backfire, because it might confuse people, or it might just frustrate them, and who knows, or it might bore them. So you want to progress into the details slowly. They don't need to know everything about the ins and outs of your product or service, but they certainly need to know a little bit more to see if they still want it. As they're going through and as they're building their interest, what you have to do is turn that interest into desire. That's sort of like when interest becomes strong, they start to desire your product or service. Desire is when they are thinking about it. They are imagining themselves using your product or service and getting those benefits. And when they start thinking about it and desiring it, it's like they're convincing themselves that they need it and want it. So your job is nearly done. The way you build desire is usually by reinforcing that attractive headline with really inspiring images, or even sometimes using terms like, imagine how good your life will be after you do something, after you lose weight, right? And the person literally starts to imagine, because you just ask them to imagine. So they start imagining how good their life will be. And of course, if they see it, they'll want it, right? If they picture themselves reaping the benefits. So they start convincing themselves that they want it, and your job is almost done. Then you just have to do the last A of Aida, which is action, call to action, get them to buy or sign up or whatever. So in everything you do in sales or promotion, think of it through Aida. It's a really helpful guideline for you to make sure you're doing the right thing in the sales process, not going too fast, not going too slow, and having your potential clients go through it on their own time, not skipping steps. Because if you do some of these in reverse, your client might not be ready for it. But if you do them in the right sequence, that's the ideal flow of your sales cycle.